Welcome to today's market report.
European stock markets traded higher on Thursday as investors digest another largely positive batch of corporate earnings, including from Societe Generale and Unicredit and fashion retailers. The DAX in Germany traded 0.6% higher, CAC 40 in France rose 0.5%, FTSE 100 climbed 0.3%, rising to a new 52-week high. It has been another busy day for corporate earnings in Europe, with the banking sector leading the way. Societe Generale stock rose 5.9% after the French banking giant handily beat expectations in its first quarter, boosted by a strong performance in its global markets division. Unicredit stock also rose 4.4% after the Italian bank also posted a respectable rebound, amassing its biggest ever cushion for payments to shareholders. While Volkswagen stock rose 1% after Europe's largest carmaker raised its operating margin target for 2021, pointing to stronger demand for more profitable cars during the first 3 months of the year. EssilorLuxottica stock rose 1.5% after the maker of Oakley and Ray-Ban glasses said its first quarter sales were boosted by a strong rebound in China and the United States, while Next stock rose 2% after the UK fashion retailer raised its full-year profit guidance for the second time in 2 months. Elsewhere in fashion, German online chain Zalando also raised its outlook for the year. Zalando's upgrade is particularly notable, given that it had been a relative winner from lockdowns last year. ArcelorMittal stock fell 1.3%, slipping from a 52-week high despite the world's largest steelmaker reporting strong first quarter earnings, and Air France KLM stocks dropped 1.5% after the airline group posted a wider first quarter operating loss and said it was looking at issuing equity-like instruments to strengthen its balance sheet. The morning's biggest loser, however, was BioNTech, which fell 13.5% after the European Commission said it was ready to discuss US plans for a temporary waiver of intellectual property rights on COVID-19 vaccines to accelerate the global vaccination campaign. The major European indices closed substantially higher on Wednesday, with the DAX gaining 2.1%, the FTSE 100 1.7%, and CAC 40 1.4%, having their best day in nearly 2 months. The Bank of England announces its latest monetary policy decision later in this session and is widely expected to hold rates steady at 0.1% and keep its monthly bond purchases steady. However, the central bank is also likely to significantly upgrade its growth outlook, which would increase expectations that its next move will be to tighten monetary policy rather than provide fresh stimulus to the economy as the pandemic eases. German factory orders rose 3.0% in March, while the final UK composite PMI readings for April and Eurozone retail sales for March are due later in the session. Oil prices edged higher on Thursday, following a huge fall in US crude stockpiles, but gains are small as the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic remains uneven. US crude futures traded 0.4% higher at $65.89 per barrel. Brent rose 0.5% to $69.29 per barrel. Gold futures rose 0.5% to $1,792.95 per ounce. On the FX front, GBP/USD is treading water ahead of the BOE decision. The MPC has to make some key decisions soon, but there is a fairly decent range of opinions as to what they may do and when. The pair may not show a strong reaction if our base case is confirmed, but economists at TD Securities think cable may be rather sensitive to a dovish surprise. We expected that BOE is keeping policy settings unchanged. The central bank is fast approaching its $875 billion gilt purchase target and soon must address what will happen for the remainder of the year. While it is a close call for today, we think we will have to wait until the June meeting to have its answer. Ultimately, we continue to expect that the BOE will announce another 90 billion sterling of QE at the June meeting. That will keep purchases at a 60 billion sterling per quarter pace until the end of the year. This puts us at a dovish end of market expectations for the BOE, we think. The consensus view seems to be that the BOE is likely to reduce the pace of purchases from the current 4.4 billion sterling weekly pace to more likely 2 to 3 billion sterling a week. Euro-dollar manages to find fresh buying interest and regains the 120 mark and beyond in the second half of the week. The continuation of the move higher-lower is seen meeting the initial support at the Fibble level at 120.64, whilst the dollar was at 91.3.
This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.